Welcome to Enabling Buying in a World of Selling. This is a podcast with leaders, thought leaders in my world, and what enabling buying in a world of selling means in their world. If you're curious about the idea behind all of this, check out my book, Enabling Buying in a World of Selling, at enablingbuying.com, where you're actually able to listen to some chapters and pre-order the book today. Let's get into it. Let's set it up, Leah. This is part of a series, Enabling Buying in a World of Selling, where, as you know, it's intentionally casual, where we're really asking really good people who are invested and involved in the idea to speak about it. And for anyone who's interested in getting a different perspective, because it's a very big topic and it's got a lot of possibilities, and that's why I love it. And I want to just set you up as a person I have a lot of respect for and admiration for, and you work
Yeah.
with us on the team in both companies, Criteria for Success and Collavia. We're going to kind of lean more towards Collavia because that's where I think it's more relevant for the talk. But tell us a little bit about what you do with us, and tell us a little bit about you, your personal life, a little bit, just your family, where you live, what you do.
All right. First of all, thank you for inviting me on the show, Charles. It's such an honor. And hello, everybody, to those who are tuned in. I am Leah, and I am based in the Philippines. Well, my background is in education. I joined the workforce as a high school English teacher. So I taught English grammar, literature, and research for 12 years. So I'm doing demos in Collavia. So I'm not a stranger to that because I've done that for more than a decade. And in 2019, I decided to have a career shift because it was driven by my desire to be more present in the lives of my kids. And so during that time, I decided to take advantage of what technology was offering, because when I was scrolling through my social media platforms, there were a lot of job opportunities that aligned with my skill set. And so I took a leap of faith, and fast forward to 2025, I was able to work with amazing people from different industries: real estate, marketing, recruitment, and sales and life coaching. And that's where our paths crossed, Charles, because now I'm a proud member of a proud team member of Collavia and Criteria for Success.
Wonderful. Thank you. So let's start with the question. What does enabling buying in a world of selling mean to you? And then how does it show up in the work that you do, especially in the demos that you do?
Yeah, it's actually a favorite thing that I share before I start the product tour. It is because I believe that when someone knows the history or the philosophy behind something, they connect more. So I start by saying that this philosophy is something that you are championing, Charles, and it's also what we practice in both Criteria for Success and Collavia, and that is enabling buying in a world of selling. What that means is when we enable buyers to decide to purchase from us, it is when the sales team and the teams behind them have alignment. So that means whether you're from sales or marketing or recruitment, when you communicate with a buyer, you communicate the same message. So in the entire buyer journey, there's no confusion. And in terms of the product implementation or the implementation or processes, you all know the flow. So that translates to a great buyer experience, because if I'm a buyer and from start to finish, you give me a great experience, because I'm not just buying your service or your product, I'm also buying the experience. And so if you constantly deliver a great experience to me, there's no question. I will definitely buy from you and keep buying from you. And, to take that a step further, if there's someone asking for my recommendation and it happens to be a service or a product that you offer, of course, I'm going to recommend you, connect you with them, because I know that you will not let me down and you always give constant, consistent quality service.
Wonderful. So give us some insight into uh, people you're doing a demo for. So just to set you up again, Collavia is a platform, and you really are the main point of contact at Collavia for demos. And demos are usually given when me or Elizabeth or Paul or someone else on the team, Jennifer, there's a lot of people who might
Mhm.
bring a person to you. Like, hey, Leah, here's a person we've been talking to. They're interested in maybe buying Calavia, but they want to know what it is. Um, so, to your point earlier about creating this consistency, tell us a little bit about how that happens when someone, not you, has done talking with has been talking with a buyer, prospective buyer, and now we've asked you to speak to that buyer and give them a demo. What is that like?
Well, first of all, I meet a lot of great people in the demos, people who I never imagined I'm going to talk to, CEOs and chiefs of staff. So once they hop in, what I immediately ask, of course, after the chit chat, immediately ask what they know about Calavia to start with. And then I also ask them questions like, what are their systems, what are the systems that they're using? And what are they still looking for? And based on their answers, I could already assess what features in Calavia would help them.
Hmm.
And so when they mentioned that, I would lead them to the features in Collavia. Let's say one client during the demo asked me told me that in their company, they are using three systems. So one system for the processes and procedures, second system is for training videos, and the third system is for, writing their goals. And then I said, I'm sure that those systems are working for you, but these three systems are found in Collavia. So the processes and procedures, they can be found in the strategy hub. The training videos, they're in the learning hub. And the good thing about learning hub is you can even integrate it in the strategy hub. And in terms of goals, you also have the Achievement Hub. So all these three platforms are present in Collavia. So instead of using three different platforms, you can just use Collavia. They just need one username, one password, and wherever they are in the world, they can access it. And it aligns with our idea, our philosophy of team alignment, because if you have one platform as opposed to three, that would give way to people being synchronized, knowing where to find stuff.
So I can already imagine as I'm listening to you, I was assuming the role of the buyer, and I'm thinking, I didn't say this out loud. Gee, Leah, that all sounds good, but my team's using three different systems that they're used to, that they're familiar with, that they've been trained on. Why would I want to take them off of those three systems that I know work? I know it's three different systems, but why would I put them on one system like Colabia? So talk a little bit about how do you enable buying there without defending your position? Like, yeah, well, I understand that you have this, but ours is better, and let me tell you why ours is better. That is a defense, right? You're defending a
Huh?
point, and you won't let go. It's like, and so if you're defending constantly, now my thinking as a buyer is, you're not hearing me. You just want to push for a sale, no matter what I say. You're going to say, yeah, but you should come back to Calabria because it's the greatest thing, and you should come back to Calabria. So tell us a little bit about how you handle a situation where someone presents a very thoughtful argument, like I've got three systems, they work. I don't really know if Calabria is going to work. Why should I shift?
Well, during the demo, when I asked them questions, I asked them how it would work for their company, how they think their team members will react. And so when they answer the questions, they're already envisioning how it's going to work for their team. And changes are really hard to adjust to. But looking at the advantages or the benefits, I'm going to give back, the same thought and ask the person that I'm demoing to. If, for example, you try to use Collavia, given all the benefits and the advantages of it, do you think having your consistent three systems would still benefit you in the long run? How about we try Collavia? And you already mentioned all the advantages, all of the things that your team would benefit from. Would you want to try that out?
No, all right. So there's a whole demo process. You talk, they tell you stuff, you tell them stuff. Where do you start to wind down and what is your goal?
Well, you mentioned middle of the demo and end of the demo. So middle, I'm touring them, uh, of course, in the different benefits, different features of Calavia. So we have conversations and how it helps them, how they think it will work for their team. And then, the wind down, I would ask them overall, how do they think it would be used by their team members? And what would be their plan, of course, in making that change happen. And so after that, by the end of the demo, I let them know that I'm going to communicate with them and tell them, of course, what happened throughout the demo and give them the next steps so they'll know what will happen moving forward.
So when we say next steps, what does that mean? And what do you send them an email? Do you like lay out the next steps? What does that look like?
Yes, we definitely lay out the next steps. In Collavia and also criteria for success, we practice sending out a deal email after each of our Collavia demo. And so in the deal email, we include the recording because most of the time they request for that. And then in the deal email, it would include what we talked about, what we promise to give them, what we require from them, and also how success would look like. And then we send it out to them, and also we tell them that we're going to reach out soon. We set out a date so we can talk more about what the next steps are.
All right, so give us those steps again. So if I'm listening, I don't want to rewind the video, so I want to hear it again. Like what are those four steps again?
Oh, the first one is what will we need from them?
Okay.
And then next one is what will we be providing to them?
Yeah.
And we also have um, how success looks like, and also what procedures they need to do to move forward with us.
Okay. Do we ever put in that email what their goals are?
Oh, yes, we include that. In the conversation that we've had in the demo, we include that as well. Um, and I think that deal email is a good way to sum up the conversation, and it's a productive email because it also shows them, you know, um, what their goals are, how it's going to be achieved, and what's going to happen from there.
Gotcha. So that doesn't sound like it's very salesy. It's not like you're trying to sell them something. It's the way I hear you, Leah, is you're giving them the ability to understand what's needed to move forward. Like, did you accurately describe their goals? Did you tell them that we still need things from them? Uh, Speak a little bit about that. What things might we need from them?
Well, first of all, in what you said, we really practice active listening in, the demos. It's important that we listen instead of, forcing a sale because they would not come to us if they already have what they think they need. So the initiative of coming forward and, having the demo, it means that they're interested in a product that would really change their sales team. And so with that listening, we're understanding what they need and we're answering and giving them how Calavia would address their needs and will help them towards their goal of a sales growth.
So someone interacted with the buyer first. handed them off to you, you give them a deal email and hand them back to someone else. What
Yes.
does that look like? And, how important is it to maintain that clear message for the
Well,
handoff?
we keep constant communication, so buyers don't feel like they're just dangling in the air and they don't know what to do. And the fact that we send them emails and making sure that the emails are detailed enough so they don't have any questions. And if they have any question, I think it's, stipulated in the email that they can ask us anytime. And that's one of the things that I'm proud about Collavia, because in Collavia, they're assured that there's dedicated human support. So whenever they need anything, if they have questions, they can just send a message and we'd be quick to respond. And throughout the experience, they know that real humans are handling their account, and we're sure that all of the questions they have, if we could hand hold them, we would do that.
Wonderful. Yeah, you got me thinking because I was thinking the deal email that you mentioned is good for the buyer, but now that I think about it, it's good for the handoff to someone else at Collavia because if they see that deal email or they're copied on that deal email, now and obviously there's the recording, so they
Mhm.
can either watch the recording, which is very time consuming, or they could read the email and understand what not only the buyer's next steps are, but what our next steps are and how we can maintain that consistency. I think that's really important. I just realized that that's a very important part of the entire buying process. So at Calavia, all the people involved can do the best we can to maintain that consistency of messaging. Yeah, that's a really good one. What else? Anything else you want to let people know as we start winding down? Like what else is important for people to understand? Why is enabling buying different than traditional selling?
Well, in traditional selling, it's like you're shoving your product on the throats of people. You're forcing them to buy. You're telling them about how good your product is. And in real life, if someone's forcing you to do something and someone's telling you how good they are or how good their product is, you don't really want to hear about that. You don't want to buy the product. What you want is a product that, shows stability and shows great communication with you. Because it's the entire service. So by, getting Collavia is a structure that we provide for them to also practice enabling buying in a world of selling.
Nice. Um, okay, so last few words, last few minutes. Uh, I'd like to kind of ask you to give anybody a sense of what do you do to maintain your commitment to enabling buying in a world of selling? What do you do? Do you read books? Do you watch videos? Do you have any recommendations, or do you have any activities that you do? What would you recommend?
Well, first of all, I do a lot of meetings with great people, leaders in their industries. And so having the opportunity of talking to them and meeting them and also, picking their brains, I know that the philosophy enabling buying in a world of selling is a method that is being practiced, but it's not really named for a long time until Charles, you have championed it. But looking at how successful people did it, they would always say that, communication, alignment really works. And so, what I do, of course, to meet people, I see it being practiced on a daily basis with you, Charles, and with all of the business people that I meet. So I'm always exposed to these kind of people and that kind of thinking.
Beautiful. Well, thank you, Leah. Thank you for your always maintaining a very bright and enthusiastic, energetic disposition, and I think it rubs off. It rubs off on me, it rubs off on our team. And what a lot of people don't know is all the other work you do, right? So we just talked about one part of what you do, but you also run projects and you hold us accountable. You do a lot of marketing. You wear a lot of hats, and I just want to thank you for doing that, and thank you for your perspective today.
Oh, I appreciate everything that you said, Charles. And, what I'm doing is something that I love doing. And, with your mentorship and with your encouragement, um, of course, I'm doing and growing. And I remember you said before that when you deal with people, you want them to constantly grow. And I think that's what you are helping me do.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thanks for listening to Enabling Buying in a World of Selling. Real talk with people who are really interested in this concept. Again, as a reminder, please go to enablingbuying.com where you can listen to some sample chapters from my book. And if you're interested, you can pre-order a copy for yourself. Looking forward to seeing you soon. And in the meantime, please enable good things.